Live to Canberra, we've got the NDIS Minister Bill Shorten speaking about some new positions, including Kurt Fearnley is going to be the chair of the NDIA, which is the agency that runs the NDIS. Let's have a listen in.
Rebecca Falkingham was the standout candidate from the process. She is currently the Secretary of the Department of Justice in Victoria. The new positions will take effect from on or around about the 17th of October. This is an opportunity for the National Disability Insurance Scheme to have reinvigorated leadership following the change of government in May. This process to get such a qualified and competent leadership coming into the scheme is very exciting, and I think that we will see results in terms of better rebuilding of trust between people on the scheme and the scheme itself. But Australians and Australian taxpayers will also be confident that the scheme will be returning to its original objectives of providing greater choice and control and value for money for the scheme's commitments. I might just now briefly ask Kurt Fearnley to say some words, and then we're happy to take questions. Over to you, Kurt.
Thank you, Minister. I might be hiding behind the fluffy mics if we don't sort that out. Thanks, mate.
It's my pleasure.
Well, I'm really excited to take on this role. I think that it's important that the participants of the NDIA get to see themselves in this organisation, and trust with the organisation itself is a visceral thing. The scheme cannot be a success without trust, and that is built over a period of time. It's been 8 years since I was an independent advisor throughout the rollout, and being a part of the conversation of lobbying to get the NDIA, the hope within the community of what it would mean to people with disabilities is still there. It's felt. That's one thing that I do know about the community of people with disabilities. They are filled with hope. The scheme itself, I can't wait to get to know the people within the organisation, to get to know those that are building the NDIA. It's an honour that the Minister would see me fit to take on this role, and I can't wait to join the board with two other voices behind me of people with disabilities who have another fresh take on what this organisation can be. I started in governance roles in 2006. I got a phone call from the Dean of my university who took a risk on a young teacher just leaving university to introducing me to the privilege and also the responsibility when you enter into these roles. It's been 16 years of working in various capacities of director roles, advisory committees, but the single greatest role that I have ever even considered is the one that is right here today. To potentially see people with disabilities look on the scheme and see themselves as chair, as a chunk of the board, I think that's an exciting time. I look forward to working with the executive, with Rebecca and the board already, and with the Minister to make sure that the NDIA continues to be what we lobbied for all along. A purveyor of disability rights, which are human rights, and also to have that conversation that is more than the single line item about how much good that this can do the country. And it's not a matter of if this is a success. We need the NDIA to be a success for the country to be what we believe it is. I'm excited again. This is not even day one. This is the first, 17 days, 20 days until it starts?
Yep, that's right.
But I can't wait for day one, and like I said, I'm really, really looking forward to getting to know the organisation again. It's so different than when I left it. But the hope, I think, that I had while we were lobbying for it, the hope that I had as an independent advisor is still there. It hasn't changed. The country needs an NDIS that is trusted, that is efficient, that is effective, and I hope that I can play a part in that.
That's great, mate.
Have I spoke too long?
No. You're going to get lots of opportunities in the next 3 years. Are there any questions for Kurt, myself, or any of the other members?
Question for.
Sorry, you were first.
Oh, thank you. A question from Mr. Chairman, if that's okay. Do you mind if I ask, are
It's a complicated answer. I am not a participant myself. I remember having conversations with the late Stella Young, and we went back and forth about the life that I live is a great life and the need for services that the NDIS provided. I wanted to be able to advocate for it from the other side of the scheme. I actually regret that choice now, and I wish that I was a member of the scheme. I do have family within the scheme that I won't elaborate on too much because that's their story. But as of today, no, I'm not a member of this. Personally, I'm not a member of the scheme. But that's the thing about disability. There are so many stories around disability that will not be members of the scheme, will not be participants of the scheme. We aren't a cover-all for disability. Disability is complex and disability is varied, and disability has many, many stories to tell. I have worked in the organisation on the Independent Advisory Council, and I have worked on the governing board of a service provider for the last 2 years as well, but not a participant.
Kurt, you used the phrase trust. I think the Minister used it as well. There was a sense that under the previous government, the disability community had lost trust and faith in the NDIA. In your new position, how do you go about rebuilding that trust? And do you think that trust broke under the previous administration?
I won't make comment on the previous administration. I will make comment that their trust is critical for the scheme to succeed. Trust allows people to take risks. Risks is where there is opportunity, but also the relationship between a participant in the scheme is something that is so important and so hard. It is allowing them to be them. I'll do everything within my power to engage with the people who I have fought alongside, who I have engaged with for the last decade when it came to the advocacy of the scheme. As you can see behind me, we're also bringing voice, not just my voice of people with disabilities, we're also bringing Marianne and Graham, who bring another depth of wealth of experience to the organisation in the board level, whether it be their advocacy role or Marianne, her experience of working inside the NDIA itself. Look, over the last couple of years, I always wanted to hear one thing, and that is hearing people from this position talk to people with disabilities and say you're worth it. That everything that all the bumps and bruises and all the fights and all the hard yards that they are doing as advocates for themselves and their families, but also this organisation can be what we believe it to be. For now, I just need to take a breath, get to know the organisation, and to, I guess, with the guys behind me and also Rebecca, sit down and really understand where we're at and bring with us our hopes of where it can go to.
We'll leave that there. And at times emotional, Kurt Fearnley, he's taking over as the chair of the NDIA, so that's the organisation that runs the NDIS. Of course, a very well-known Paralympian to many Australians, and he says it's a big job ahead. It is a whole new team, essentially. We've got a new CEO announced today as well, more board members. Bill Shorten, the minister there, clearly wanting to have an emphasis within this organisation on people actually with experience, with disability. And it is a big job ahead as well, because this scheme is costing more than it originally was supposed to. How does it become affordable but still deliver vital, life-changing services? So that is a big job for this Labor government, no doubt about that.